Hello everyone and welcome to the Warrior Nation F1 League podcast. This is episode 8. It feels like forever that we've been doing this podcast, but it's only the 8th episode. Joining me in the studio as ever is a gust of wind, but also Ollie.
Hello.
How are you, Ollie?
Tired.
Thanks for that. Any reason why?
Work and trying to keep up with all the GP2 incidents.
Yes, we will get on to GP2 in a little bit. It was quite an interesting race, so I hear.
It was. It was indeed.
Right, who should I go to next? I'll go to the gust of wind. It's Stephen J. Hayes.
Second gust of wind. Fantastic. You'll start giving me a bit of a reputation. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. And next we have Stuart.
Hello. I'm back again.
You are back. You're becoming a podcast regular. I like it.
I've done it about 4 or 5 weeks in a row now, so yeah, I'm getting there.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes.
Thanks for that, Steve.
And last but not least, we have Fire Samil.
Hello.
I didn't know if you're going to answer me because your name on TeamSpeak is video editing as we speak.
That is the truth.
I'm glad we have your full attention.
Yep.
Almost as bad as Kerr watching a film whilst recording this.
Well, I have to look through, about maybe 5 videos that are like an hour long each. So it's quite, straining.
Fun.
Yeah, it's very fun.
The things we do for this league, eh?
Yes.
The second round of the Warrior Nation F1 League delivered excitement, drama and collisions galore as the championship hopefuls raced around the Sepang International Circuit. All eyes in qualifying were towards Fire Samil as he extended his 100% qualifying rate, putting the prancing horse on pole position for the second race in a row. Joining him at the front again was Tuppers, while the second row consisted of the Force India of Shiraz 995 and the McLaren of the self-proclaimed consistent one, Jay Hygo. The race though would see the usual carbon fibre party return at the first corner. Whilst bowfar was braking for turn 1 up the inside of Gaza, the car instead hurtled towards Jay Hygo because of the force from the Cyber of Ollie P 1986 and Oxa 112 in the sister Mercedes ploughing into the back of him. For this incident, Ollie P 1986 received a drive-through penalty. The aftermath of turn 1 left Jay Hygo, bowfar and Vernon facing the wrong way. Bowfar, looking to redeem himself following a disastrous race in Australia, fought hard with Jay Hygo and they quickly caught up with the drivers at the rear of the main group. With Jay Hygo getting poor drive from turn 8, Bowfar gained a healthy slipstream on the McLaren and the Ferrari of debutant Soaring Wombat. But just as Bowfar was to put his car up on the inside for an overtake, Jay Hygo also did the same thing, forcing Bowfar out wide. With a wall of cars turning into the hairpin bend, Bowfar had nowhere and no time to stop and ploughed into the side of Stuart SSDD's Williams. 2 drive-through penalties and 3 laps later, Bowfar found himself trailing the pack by 20 seconds. Like a boxing referee, the Xbox Life gods took pity on the Mercedes number 2 and a few laps later disconnected him from the server, perhaps deciding that the fight for any sort of redemption from race 1 was already lost. The Silver Arrows continued to find drama even after 50% of the team was left. Oxo112 found himself in a battle with the much improved Gaza. Questionable driving and the odd touch here and there saw the pair scrapping over the final positions worthy of points. One driver who prospered from the battle was Stephen J. Hayes 83, with his fellow teammate Thimbot 007 showing good pace. The Red Bull number 2 driver saw past the squabbling pair on lap 7 as they took a trip into the gravel. Stephen finished the race just behind his teammate in 5th and 6th place. The front of the pack saw racing just as tense with a 2-way battle for the lead. The pole sitter Fire Samil found himself in a hard-fought battle with Shiraz 995, but he managed to work his way past Fire Samil to take the checkered flag by only 900ths of a second, and with it closed the gap to current championship leader Jay Hygo, to 3 points. The second round of the Warrior Nation F1 Racing League brought close racing, controversy, and even more drama. And the next round at China looks to be the closest yet in what many feel could be the best season of racing the Warrior Nation has ever seen.
How was your race, bowfar?
It was bad. It was very short. I disconnected after 5 laps. Xbox Live, they decided that I wasn't worthy enough to drive. So I got disconnected.
Of course, what he doesn't tell you is the network cable's right next to his controller when he's playing. So his disconnection wasn't a rage quit. I just want to put that out there, people. It was not a rage quit. His hand slipping on that cable, it didn't happen.
Yes. I was quite angry though. First corner, I got taken out again. Sorry, please don't talk over me.
Shall we?
So first corner, I got taken out again. Why does it always happen to me?
Well, I think
probably because you arrive in the corner too quick.
I was not right. Well, this is what we saw from my very, very short video that I posted in the steward's office afterwards. I broke very early for the corner, and then someone hit me, and it looked as if I didn't break at all. But you could quite clearly see I broke. It's
kind of looks like that on the race edit as well, like you didn't break.
Yeah, great. Please. Oh,
I did watch it, and there's definite clear braking and a definite clear contact. So yes, I can vouch for bowfar here. He definitely did attempt to brake. Unfortunately, the speed in which he was hit made him career into the corner at an uncontrollable speed.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it was hit 2 times, weren't you, from the left and then from the right, and then ploughed straight into Jay Hygo.
Yes, and he was surprisingly unvocal about it as well during the corner.
Well, he had quite a impressive race, I have to say. Managed to recover back to third after the first lap incident, which himself, Vern, and yourself were involved in. He was actually plumb last, and he did recover in the end to third place, which I thought was quite a good recovery drive. Cements his place at the top of the championship still, by about 3 points, but
Yeah, it's 3
he's
points.
just about hanging on in there.
Shades of the impressive comeback by Cube last week, I think.
Yes, Cube also did an impressive drive at Australia. I think did he come through to second, did he, in the end?
He finished second.
Yeah. I think had he not been taken out back in Oz, he would have won that one, though. But I don't think Josh had the pace to win this week in Malaysia.
That's funny because I took him out as well. Anyone that
You
I
also
take
took
out
me
has a
out.
good race.
I would not like that as an invitation, thank you. I don't want to be taken out by you.
Anyway, let's move on. So my race was an absolute disaster. Stuart, how was your race?
Didn't have too bad a start. Started last, ended up with all the first bend drama, creeping my way up to about 11th. Then overtook Babel through the S's and double right. Then I had a bowfar come into the side of me, the left hand before the start of the third sector.
Didn't ruin your race though, did it?
It chucked me into the grass/gravel, and I was stone dead last at that point. I then spent most of the race chasing after Stephen, matching him sector for sector. Ollie and Vern, they were also right on the chuff most of the race. But yeah, a lot closer racing than what I thought I would be having.
Ollie was finishing he finished just behind you as well. What was it like from your perspective?
Well, from my perspective, I had quite a terrible start and ended up with a drive-through. But I had a shed load of pace, which put me right back up behind Stephen and Stuart for quite a few laps. I had a really fun battle with Vern for about 8 or 10 laps, and then caught up with Stephen and Stuart. I think on one lap I got past Stuart with DRS, and the next lap I went to take Steve, but I came around the last corner and I couldn't work out where Steve was, and I thought he was trying to nip back to get the DRS, so I slowed right down to let him go back past, so I got the DRS to take him on the straight. And out of nowhere, I see Stuart coming past me, and it wasn't Steve at all. It was Stuart that I could see in the arrows. So Stuart got ahead of me. So on the last lap, I got past Stuart again with DRS, and on the second to last corner, I was so determined to take Steve on the last corner that I put too much power on coming out the second to last corner and spun it and hit the wall, which put me down in 8th, I think. But I really enjoyed the race, regardless. It was just a shame about the penalty because I probably could have been fighting with Simbot for 5th, I think, without that penalty. Because I had at least half a second, almost a second over Steven Stewart.
And that wasn't the only close racing that the race saw. The end result saw Shiraz 995 take the win, but only 0.097 seconds behind was Fire Samil. That sounds like a pretty close race.
Oh, it was a close race all the way. I got pole. Everybody should know I got pole, and I'm very happy about that. Because so I got pole, and then
Sorry, hang on a minute. Can you hear that? I'm clapping. Well done. Pole position. I'm enjoying the pole position right now.
Shame you can't convert them.
I bet you look like a penguin, Steve.
What's that? I sound like a penguin.
I bet you look like one.
Yeah, pick up a penguin. Other chocolate bars are available.
It's the second pole in a row, actually.
Yes, but this time I wasn't disconnected.
No, instead I was.
A bit like Vettel, aren't you, Samil?
I don't know. It might just be, well, Ferrari, it has good pace in qualifying.
One lap wonder.
Yeah, it'll probably only happen probably won't happen anymore. It was just, lucky. I mean, I don't know what it was. It was quite close, so I took it by.
So what was the racing like?
Well, from the start, obviously, we had quite a clean getaway up front. Toppers went around me on the outside in the first corner, and I was the inside in the second corner. He got away by about 2 seconds, and then it was basically like a 2-second gap between him, me, and then Shiraz for like the first 5 laps or so, and then Shiraz started catching because of DRS, and so we were having a pretty close race, and then Ferrari, they had to go get my car's broke. So that's when Shiraz overtook me, and I just had to hang in there with DRS until they fixed it about 5 laps later, because they're not very fast. It's probably my one complaint of the whole race, if there was any. So we basically had the same pace through the whole race, and then, Topper spun, which also, was quite relaxing, because we were both going to get first or second. And so we just battled it out all the way, and tyre wear was fine, and it was probably the best. I've never actually raced against them properly before, and as you saw by the end result, it was side by side across the line. I think he saved a bit of cars in the last corner and then just let it go, and then he just beat me. But it was a really fun race for me compared to Australia.
And we didn't have a headache because you wasn't complaining that much in comparison.
Well, I mean, getting pole put me in a happy mood, and I wasn't disconnected, so that was one less thing to complain about. I didn't lose my front wing this time. I didn't get put on extra fuel. So everything seemed like it was going my way for this weekend.
I just thought you were an early contender for the Nigel Award. Taking to heart Nigel Mansell at Ferrari all those years ago. Complain. Where's your moustache? Complain.
Oh, dear.
Although I haven't been as vocal about it, I think I'm in prime position for the Nigel Award.
Possibly.
So as you should probably know, we have a second division, I guess, GP2 going along at the moment, and Ollie and Tuppers were there to watch. Obviously Tuppers isn't here, but Ollie is, to give us the lowdown on what happened for the GP2 race, and it was full of incidents.
It was. So wet qualifying caused a topsy-turvy grid. At the end of the race, there were quite a few incidents and a lot of claims going in, but at the end of the race, Steve came out on top in the Force India. Mr. Tan's 9 seconds behind him in the McLaren, and in third place was Steve Stealth in the Lotus. HB Snipes received 3 penalty points for his various incidents, with 2 other incidents still being investigated.
I have to say, Snipes' move on turn 3, which took out, if I'm right, Tans and Volts, was terrible. He's actually across the rumble strip and the grass as he punts the Lotus out of the way. It's quite unforgiving, really, isn't it? You have to say. Yeah,
he
really needs to read the etiquette.
Unfortunate weekend, I think. He had 2 incidents in qualifying with not making enough room for himself, and ended up in the back of both Edink and Danielson.
So being a Mercedes driver then, surely someone like, I don't know, our podcast host bowfar might be able to take him under his wing and coach him on the ways and etiquette of the WNX F1 League.
Well, if that wasn't a dig, I don't know what else was.
That wasn't a dig, that was a request.
Yes, maybe.
Just make sure you stay connected.
Yeah, that's my big problem right now. Right, so you heard our first ever Meet the Driver finished feature last week. That was of Thimbot007, the founder, I guess. Brigadier General. Yes, the founder of the Racing League, and none of this would have really been here if it wasn't for his intervention, I guess, or kind of vision for setting it up. So we were all quite thankful to him for that. So I thought I'd honour him with being the first Meet the Driver. And this week, I guess we're honouring another driver because he's actually left the league. So this will probably be the last thing you will ever hear from Kerr on this podcast. This is Meet the Driver.
My gamer tag is the same as my forum name. It's WNXKer, and I am in GP1. I will be driving for the red one, which is literally why I had picked them in the first place, Ferrari. I think my first Formula 1 memory was, say, about a year and a half ago, just floating about YouTube. I typed crashes in, and then I seen Formula 1 crashes, and I thought, they look quite good, and then started watching it. I think my first Formula 1 memory was, say, about a year and a half ago, just floating about YouTube. I typed crashes in, and then I seen Formula 1 crashes, and I thought, they look quite good, and then started watching it. My favourite F1 driver of all time is Jackie Stewart. Number 1, his hats are excellent. Number 2, he's Scottish, and number 3, he was a very, very good driver. My favourite Formula 1 moment is when I made my Ferrari do a backflip. It was quite a graceful one. I never got any damage, no heated tyres, continued the race on normally. That would be quite a thing in real life.
Okay, so now we're going to look forward to the next race in China, the third race of the season. How are your preparations looking for Samil?
Not too good at the moment. As with 90% of the tracks, you also often hear me complaining about how I hate them, and that's just the case with China. I also hate that track, just like the other two we've just done. So my feelings going towards the race aren't too high at the moment, my expectations. You know, I'm just hoping to score a good amount of points this weekend. Third, I'll do. Of course, I'll try getting the pole again, because that makes my weekend. I'm going to do a test session tonight, and I'm going to definitely try to win this weekend, actually, though, even though I said I'll come third. But, you know, I need a win to get back up there in the championship.
How about yourself, Mr. Stephen J. Hayes?
Okay, I just want to start by commenting on Samil's intro there to his race. Starts by hating the track unbelievably. The anticipation isn't there. He's not looking forward to it, and ends the conversation by saying he's going for the win. Only one man could do that. That's Far Samil. Only one man could make that intro.
It's polar opposite of the consistent one, isn't it? Ask him how he's.
At the moment, at the moment though, Josh is definitely making it count. You know, he's made these bold claims in pre-season, and he's delivering on them at the moment. Yes, we're only 2 rounds in, but he's at the top of the standings.
He is.
He knows that though from 20 odd races last season. He's one of the few that did every round last season. He knows that car back to front, and the rest of us are still learning our new ones. That probably counts for quite a bit of it. I think, especially with Tuppers.
Well, I'm learning that Ferrari are not good at fixing cars with DRS problems. They're, in fact, probably the worst team on the grid. No offence to Ferrari or anything.
I had my own issues in the Red Bull last time out. You don't hear me moaning about it. You just get on with it and deal with it.
And how about you, Stuart?
I'm looking forward to this race a lot more than the previous 2. I've only done 1 practice session so far. My pace isn't electric, but it's consistent, which is what I'm wanting at this stage. I think I can pick up some solid points like last time, because I came 7th, picked up 6 points. So, yeah, I'm looking to come around there again.
Good. Well, I'm not going to be doing many race preparations because I won't actually be there on Sunday. So for me, I may join you guys for a practice session later on. I must add as well, we're recording this on Tuesday. Normally Tuesday is our first kind of joint practice session together as a league. So we don't actually know the pace of anyone else. We just kind of know like basics. Well, I think for most people, we just have a basic setup, maybe even no setup, and haven't familiarized ourselves with the track yet. So it's quite early on to say who is going to be finishing where or who's got the pace, if there are any surprise race drivers with some good pace. So, I think it's too early to say at the moment, at this time of recording.
I'll just give some help to those drivers that are struggling with their setup. Just go stock setup. Trust me, you'll be fine. Stock setup.
Which stock?
Just arrive and play. Don't set the car up. Just go straight to track. Don't set the car up. You'll be fine.
I don't know if you'll win with that attitude.
I'll win. No one else will, though.
I think there's a bit of sabotage going on here.
Or is it just, Samil, you're not confident in your own ability to win on that setup?
No, I create a new setup for each track, so well, it's quite worrying starting from scratch. But once it's kind of there, then it's fine,
Right, so it's about that time of the show where we have to say goodbye. We've run out of things to talk about. Well, actually, we haven't run out of things to talk about because we've got loads of stuff to plug to you. But they're good, worthwhile things. So as ever, if you're interested, if you stumbled across this podcast or stumbled across our YouTube channel, Warrior Nation F1, and you're interested in joining the league, then all you need to do is send us a message. How would they get involved?
How would they get involved?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic question. So, there's many ways that you can get involved or join the league. First and foremost, you could go to warriornation.net and from the drop-down menu, select the F1 League. There you'll find our little website, all the different manners and things that we do there. Click the join button and fill the form in. Jobs are good in, be in. The other way you can do it is contact one of the league management. So send me, Stephen Hayes, a Xbox Live message on Stephen J. Hayes 83. I'll be happy to hear from you, and I'll get you sorted and going in the right direction and get you on board.
Also, if you do want to join the league, you could go to our Twitter page, our brand new Twitter. We are at WNX F1 League, and our name is Warrior Nation F1. So if you search for that, you'll be bound to find us. So you can get in touch with us there. We post links to the videos for our YouTube and the podcast as well. So we'll be appearing. The podcast will be appearing on Twitter as well. But also need to plug Backmarker. Stephen's got more on that.
GP2, Backmarker needs you. You've heard the plugs, you've seen the posts. We're looking for members to post their race reports. If you want to contribute, send a PM to Stephen J. Hayes 83.
So please do get involved with Backmarker. It's a really good project that Stephen started, and we've already got lots of writers for GP1, but we just need those for GP2.
And no cheese. No cheese.
Well, yours was reeking of cheese. I made the rhymes as well. Right, so that is all we have time for, and so it just leaves me and the guys to go and say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Stephen, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.